Hey Steelers Nation, we're back with an exclusive video packed with the latest updates on our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. This way, you'll never miss any exclusive updates or exciting Steelers news. The NFL world is buzzing with speculation after shocking updates from Baltimore have thrown the Ravens organization into complete turmoil. Sources close to the team have hinted an unexpected development that could drastically shift the balance before the much-anticipated clash against the Steelers. Fans, analysts, and insiders are all trying to piece together what this means for both franchises, but the rumors are spreading like wildfire across social media platforms, making it impossible to ignore the tension building. Lamar Jackson, the cornerstone of Baltimore's offensive strategy, is reportedly unavailable for the upcoming showdown, sparking endless debate about how the team will adapt without their star quarterback. This news has ignited feverish discussions, not just among fans, but also in sports media circles, where analysts are weighing the potential consequences. The Ravens, known for their resilience and ability to execute under pressure, now face a scenario that tests the limits of their depth chart and coaching ingenuity. Everyone is asking, can Baltimore find a way to compensate for such a massive absence? Or does this tilt the game decidedly in favor of Pittsburgh before a single snap is even taken? The implications of Jackson's absence reach far beyond just the offensive lineup. It fundamentally alters the psychological landscape of the game. Players who had been preparing to rely on his playmaking skills now face the daunting task of stepping into an enormous void. The ripple effect touches every facet of the Ravens' preparation, from the timing of routes to the strategic calls made in the huddle, forcing coaches to rethink almost every aspect of their game plan. Meanwhile, the Steelers are reported to be in high spirits, with internal sources suggesting they sense a rare opportunity to exploit Baltimore's sudden vulnerability. This anticipation is creating a buzz that extends well beyond casual spectators, as bettors, commentators, and fantasy football enthusiasts scramble to reassess predictions and odds in light of this news. Social media has become a frenetic hub of analysis, speculation, and even panic among die-hard Ravens supporters, highlighting just how monumental this development feels. While Baltimore's fan base clings to hope, the Steelers' camp appears to be quietly confident, sharpening their focus on execution and studying every possible weakness that this unexpected scenario might expose during the game. Reports also indicate that this development is affecting the Ravens' practice routines, with backup quarterbacks suddenly thrust into the spotlight and forced to demonstrate readiness under immense scrutiny. Coaches are reportedly making adjustments on the fly, balancing the need to maintain team morale with the strategic necessity of ensuring the backups are prepared for immediate action. Insiders suggest that the locker room atmosphere is tense but determined, with players recognizing the magnitude of stepping up in such high-stakes circumstances. Analysts are highlighting the challenge of replicating Jackson's unique athleticism and field vision, which have been central to Baltimore's offensive identity, pointing out that the backup options, while competent, may struggle to create the same dynamic plays. On the other side of the league, the Steelers are quietly capitalizing on the uncertainty, studying film and preparing counter-strategies that could exploit any hesitation or miscommunication within the Ravens' ranks. Fans are dissecting every snippet of information leaked online, from cryptic training session reports to insider tweets, fueling speculation and debates that grow more intense with each passing hour. The narrative surrounding this game is rapidly evolving from a typical rivalry matchup into a story of potential upheaval and dramatic strategic recalibration, captivating the football world in ways few other announcements could achieve. Meanwhile, the media frenzy surrounding this story has reached levels rarely seen for a single player's absence. Every sports outlet seems eager to weigh in, presenting theories ranging from minor inconvenience to catastrophic shift in the balance of power. Pundits are dissecting previous matchups, evaluating how the Ravens fared in Jackson's absence in past scenarios, and predicting possible outcomes based on these historical patterns. Rumors about team morale, leadership dynamics, and internal confidence are circulating alongside official statements, creating a complex web of speculation that is difficult to navigate without strong context. The Steelers' narrative is also gaining momentum, with commentators emphasizing how this could represent a once-in-a-season advantage, energizing both players and fans with the prospect of capitalizing on a weakened opponent. Social media reactions range from disbelief to glee, with memes, hashtags, and reaction videos proliferating rapidly, turning this news into a cultural moment beyond just the sport itself. Analysts are now framing the upcoming clash not merely as a game, but as a test of adaptability, resilience, and leadership under pressure, elevating the stakes and the anticipation to unprecedented levels for both franchises and their supporters. Adding another layer to the intrigue is the uncertainty surrounding the Ravens' medical updates. Sources hint that Jackson's unavailability may not be fully resolved, with insiders suggesting there is ongoing evaluation and potential last-minute changes that could either heighten hope or deepen panic. The speculation has created a kind of nervous energy that permeates the football community, with everyone from journalists to fantasy football enthusiasts attempting to read between the lines. There is also chatter about how the absence of a central figure like Jackson might force unconventional strategies, such as relying more heavily on the running game, trick plays, or short passes to compensate for the missing arm and leadership. Coaches are reportedly discussing every possible scenario, balancing the need to protect players, maintain competitive integrity, and avoid tipping off their own plans to the opponent. The Steelers, conversely, appear to be planning meticulously, aware that while Baltimore may be weakened, the challenge of containing other offensive weapons remains significant. Fans are torn between hope, fear, and excitement, knowing that a dramatic twist could define the narrative of this rivalry game for years to come. Analysts emphasize that momentum before the game can be as decisive as performance on the field, suggesting that the psychological edge may already be tilting even before kickoff. Finally, whispers from inside the Ravens organization suggest a mix of determination and apprehension, with leadership urging players to embrace the challenge while quietly acknowledging the enormous gap left by Jackson. Rumors about internal debates on the starting strategy, play-calling adjustments, and even the potential of a bold gamble to surprise the Steelers are circulating, making it clear that the team is at a crossroads. The Steelers camp is reportedly fully aware of the disruption in Baltimore, with coaches and players preparing for a game plan that maximizes pressure, exploits mistakes, and capitalizes on every opportunity created by the absence of the quarterback who often dictates the pace. Betting lines, analyst predictions, and fan sentiment are all shifting rapidly as a result, reinforcing the notion that the upcoming matchup has transcended ordinary pre-game speculation. Social media platforms are flooded with expert commentary, highlight reels of Jackson's previous heroics, and fan-created simulations imagining scenarios without him, turning the absence into an event in its own right. As the hours tick closer to the game, the tension, excitement, and uncertainty only grow, creating a perfect storm of anticipation and drama. The Ravens face not just a physical challenge, but a psychological one, and the entire NFL world is watching, waiting to see how this story will unfold when it matters most. The Steelers, on the other hand, are reportedly treating this development with strategic calculation rather than overt celebration, understanding that the absence of Lamar Jackson is a rare window that demands focus and discipline rather than complacency. Coaches are said to be intensifying preparation, reviewing countless hours of film, and identifying areas of the Ravens' offense most vulnerable to exploitation. Players in the Pittsburgh locker room are reportedly energized by the news, with insiders suggesting that morale is high, and the sense of opportunity is tangible in practice sessions and team meetings. Analysts speculate that the psychological boost from knowing a key opponent is sidelined could translate into heightened confidence, sharper execution, and a willingness to take calculated risks that might not be considered in a typical game scenario. Meanwhile, the Ravens face a dual challenge. Not only must they reorganize their offensive approach, but they also have to maintain composure under the intense scrutiny of fans, media, and opponents who are watching for the slightest sign of weakness. The narrative surrounding this matchup is increasingly about adaptability, resilience, and the ability to perform under unprecedented pressure. And every comment, leak, or hint from either side seems to add fuel to the fire of speculation and expectation. In practice sessions leading up to the game, sources indicate that Baltimore's backups are experiencing heightened scrutiny, with every throw, decision, and reaction being analyzed in real time. Coaches are reportedly walking a fine line between giving them confidence and demanding precision, as mistakes could be magnified against a team like the Steelers. Rumors about adjustments to formations, play sequences, and audibles are circulating, suggesting that the Ravens might employ creative or unconventional strategies to offset the absence of Jackson. Analysts highlight that the opposing defense, aware of this weakness, will likely intensify pressure, aiming to disrupt rhythm, force errors, and exploit the inexperience of substitutes. Fans, meanwhile, are engaging in extensive debate across forums, social media, and video commentary, dissecting scenarios, proposing hypothetical strategies, and speculating about the psychological impact of Jackson's absence on teammates. The buzz is relentless, with even casual observers drawn into discussions about how much a single player can influence the trajectory of a game, and whether Baltimore can summon the resilience needed to overcome a seemingly insurmountable disadvantage. The sense of urgency and unpredictability surrounding these preparations is becoming the dominant storyline, eclipsing conventional pre-game analysis. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Reports also suggest that internal discussions within the Ravens coaching staff are intense, with strategic planning sessions extending late into the night. Coaches are exploring multiple contingencies, considering scenarios where the backup quarterback struggles or where the Steelers' defense capitalizes on specific formations. The level of detail in these preparations is reportedly unprecedented, with analysts pointing out that such meticulous planning underscores just how pivotal Jackson's absence is perceived to be. Meanwhile, the Steelers are reportedly fine-tuning their approach, focusing on execution, discipline, and exploiting every potential mismatch, while resisting the temptation to underestimate any aspect of Baltimore's team despite the setback. Social media and fan forums are ablaze with speculation, rumor, and excitement, with viral posts dissecting every minor hint of information, from practice footage to insider commentary. The intensity of the pre-game narrative has reached levels rarely seen, transforming a single matchup into a story of adaptation, opportunity, and high-stakes drama that captivates not only diehard fans but the broader sports community. Analysts stress that this dynamic creates a scenario where preparation, psychological readiness, and adaptability may outweigh raw talent or conventional game metrics. Another dimension fueling speculation is the psychological impact on the Ravens' defensive squad, which now faces the dual challenge of supporting an altered offense while maintaining their own performance standards. Reports indicate that defensive players are reportedly aware that the spotlight will inevitably fall on them, as opponents might attempt to exploit any shift in momentum resulting from offensive struggles. Analysts suggest that this dynamic creates a pressure cooker environment, with each play carrying added significance and intensity. Meanwhile, the Steelers' offense is reportedly preparing meticulously, aiming to leverage any opportunity to seize momentum and control the pace of the game early. Fans and insiders are actively discussing the potential for momentum swings, unexpected heroics, and the influence of individual performances under these unusual circumstances. The pre-game narrative is rapidly evolving into a story of resilience, adaptability, and strategic ingenuity, rather than a conventional contest of skill. Observers note that while the absence of a superstar like Jackson is undeniably significant, the ultimate outcome may hinge on how well both teams respond to shifting dynamics, demonstrating that football is as much a mental and strategic game as it is physical. Sources close to the Ravens organization suggest that leadership is emphasizing focus, resilience, and execution, while quietly acknowledging the enormity of the challenge posed by Jackson's absence. There are whispers of potential adjustments to the running game, short passing strategies, and unconventional play calling aimed at reducing reliance on the quarterback's traditional skill set. Analysts and insiders are speculating about the likelihood of bold gambles, surprise formations, and risk-taking that could either turn the tide or exacerbate challenges. Meanwhile, the Steelers are reportedly refining defensive schemes to anticipate and counter any unexpected plays, while maintaining discipline and poise to avoid overcommitting to predictable patterns. Fans are actively dissecting leaked practice clips, social media commentary, and insider reports, generating a feedback loop of speculation, anticipation, and analysis that only heightens the drama. The story surrounding this matchup is quickly becoming one of psychological warfare, adaptability, and the importance of preparation, with each revelation adding to the narrative tension and keeping the football world on edge as the game approaches. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.